So now I want to take a look at how to pull things together. First video, I talked about moving from the first draft toward a final draft. Second video, I talked about the research and how to evaluate it and how to document it. And now I want to show you how to integrate that research into your final draft. This is where you bring together your first draft and your research work and weave it into a final draft that pulls all the pieces together. Notice I start with my pictures. We said that you were going to have photos, take photos of the house you were looking at or the building you were looking at. I chose a house. You could have chosen a building. And then you begin to work the sources that you found into the paragraph. So I've tried to show you how that looks here by putting into orange the material that comes from my research. So the black text is the material from the first draft that I showed you earlier in the first lecture. The orange material is material I've extracted from my sources and brought into my text. So you'll notice that anytime I use any exact words from a source, I must put them into quotes. So you'll see here that I have taken short quotes from one of the scholarly journal articles and worked it into a sentence of my own that provides important context and background to the interpretation I'm making in the piece. Now you'll notice I have an in-text citation at the end. Notice how it comes inside the period. Notice how it doesn't include a page number because it's from a database article. And when I scroll down here, I can find the database article. I look at the last name, and there he is. So the citation leads me, here's the citation, it leads me directly to the works cited. Later in the piece, I do a similar thing. I work in a couple of different phrases, short phrases from the article I read about, the book I read about leisure and architecture in California. And I include in there some key phrases that Culver uses that I thought were useful for talking about the house I was looking at. Again, my ideas from the research here are in orange. They won't be in the final draft. In the final draft, I'll uncode that orange and put it back to black, but I'm using the orange now to show you. Now notice in this case, I've got, again, what's called the in-text citation, or at this point, the parenthetical citation, because it's in parentheses, last name of the author, and the page number, because this is a book. And again, if we go to the works cited, there it is, Culver Lawrence, The Frontier of Leisure. Again, that MLA citation I just copied and pasted from the library site. But I have my whole evaluation already done, and the reader can easily go from my paragraph to the works cited list by using last names. Finally, at the end of the paragraph, I use some material from the Suburbia article that I found. And again, here you'll notice that I am paraphrasing most of what Dolce says. I'm putting it into my own words. But notice how even when I just took one word from Dolce, the word narrow, I quoted it. So most of the rest I put into my own words. But because while I was doing that, putting Dolce into my own words, there was one word from him I used exactly. I quote that one word. It's so important to put into quotation marks any and all exact words you use from a source. And then again, here's Dolce. I can scroll down to my works cited. There he is, Dolce. So the reader can easily find, based on my in-text parenthetical citations, the sources that I'm using. Again, I'm integrating the cool ideas I found from my sources into my discussion as a way of providing context and background, which is an important piece of this assignment. And then I'm providing really strong citations for each of my sources that tell the reader how I use them. And let's not forget, I've got that cool picture of myself that shows I was actually in the field at the site. So I hope now you have a really good sense of what a final draft should look like. Here's lots of detail to help you with it. These videos are dense. Feel free to rewatch them and stop them. And most important, feel free to reach out to me or Katie or a research librarian for any help if you're stuck. Thanks. Bye.